Live from Loudmouth Central, you're listening to Loudmouth Fisticuffs. Hosted by combat sports analyst Joshua Furs and international ring announcer Mr. Live Worldwide Jeff Houston. Half sports show, half comedy show, and half conspiracy show. 100% in your face. So open your ears, shut your mouth, and have a good fucking time.
Well, you heard the man. Open your ears, shut your mouth, and have a good
fucking time.
That's it. Guys, you're listening to Loudmouth Fisticuffs episode number 26, 26, 20 plus 6, 25 plus 1, however the hell you want to word it. Number 26. Last week was our silver anniversary. I don't know what 26 is. Maybe it's a brown anniversary. I don't know.
That sounds like a bathroom code. You need to get rid of that brown anniversary stuff.
Code Brown. I was just watching this documentary. I'll talk about Code Brown a little bit later. But guys, we thank you for tuning in to us. We appreciate it so much. That's the partner right over there, Mr. Live Worldwide, Jeff Houston.
The partner. Whoa. The partner. I specify that. It doesn't mean that we hold. Hey, it doesn't mean that we hold hands or take windy walks.
I mean, there was that one time.
With yourself? I told you to quit playing with yourself.
I mean, we were drinking a little bit and things got a little fuzzy, but that's irrelevant.
With yourself. I have the video and I'm not afraid to make it go viral on YouTube. I swear to God, man.
Hey.
It's with yourself. I'm going to tell you, man, you got to stop smoking that peyote. It doesn't do you any good.
I am Joshua Furs, and you never know what you're really going to get with this show. We might go here. We might go there. We might go a little bit anywhere. So we might. As the description says, strap in, strap on, and just get a little comfortable because it might get a little bumpy.
Yeah, strap on doesn't sound like it'd be too comfortable in the long run.
Maybe use your preferred petroleum product. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Your preferred petroleum product, your triple P, your preferred petroleum product. I think I'm going to steal that. I like that. Your preferred petroleum product.
No. That's my
talk about saying something that's supposed to be nasty and making it sound as clean as possible.
Well, that's what I was going for. I was trying to tweak it on the fly, and you never know what's going on. I tell you what, we got the what can we talk about, Jeff? So we got the finalized card for Bare Knuckle 12 coming up on September 11th. We're going to go over that. Some of the stuff that I had predicted as rumored ended up coming to pass. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very horrible wits.
Hey, I'm just saying. Tune in, combatinsiders.com. We have all the inside information, literally. Anyway, so we're gonna talk about that. We had UFC this past weekend. Anthony Smith took the L, man. I don't know where he's gonna go with his career. We're doing a top 10. We're doing a top 10 of.
We're finally doing a top 10, and our top 10 is one that was requested of us, and we're going to finally get to it. We're going to address in a little while the top 10 most underrated MMA fighters of all time. The ones who are the unsung heroes who certainly should have gotten more camera time, more sponsor deals, and more money in the long run because their contribution was not short-sighted, at least not in our opinion.
Right. Also, if you notice too, if this is your first time joining, please, if you hear us jump around, don't be alarmed. Just stick with it. It's like a roller coaster, right? Just stick with it. We'll get back down the gravity.
No, it's a bad accident. It's a clusterfuck. It's a clusterfuck to watch, but you just can't take your eyes off of it.
So
something about it.
Let's talk about it. I guess we'll just hit the ground running, Jeff. BKFC 12 Of course, we knew Thiago Alves versus Phil Baroni, Hector Lombard, Kendall Grove is the main and co-main, respectively.
I'm looking
We
forward
knew
to
that.
seeing what Kendall Grove's his battle plan is coming back to BKFC. Very interested to see how he's going to approach Hector Lombard.
Well, it's an interesting fight to begin with because you got somebody who is, on the shorter side. He's extremely stocky, just a big ball of muscle. Then you have the opposite, Kendall Grove, some tall, lanky,
6'5", lanky,
reach.
muscular with a reach. Exactly. He's giving away a lot of height, and it's basically going to have to be inside fighting. Travis Thompson. Yes, I agree, Travis. Travis, if it were up to me, you'd be on every card, even if we had to carry over additional insurance for your ass. Trust me. I wish
Travis
that
the Animal Thompson, my man.
Travis, I know. If we're not talking about you, then it's not worth mentioning. I know that you want to be on every card. I know you want to cave in skulls, and I know that you want to send people to the ER. We get it. And I want to see you do it too.
Yeah, 100%. Also, too, Abdiel Velasquez and Reggie Barnett Jr. At 135 pounds. They are finally going to meet. I am pumped for this one. This is going to be really good. It's going to be really good. You've got the power of Abby against the technical prowess of Reggie Barnett Jr. Easy E educated hands, and I'm really excited about that fight. Really excited.
Reggie not too long ago having a very easy victory over Matt Murphy.
Yeah.
Last time that he was in the squared circle. And Abby is definitely wanting to get one back in the win column after a very vicious and bloody knockout from Dat Wins. So both of those guys are they're continuing to have something to prove because both of them have got brutal Johnny Bedford in their crosshairs.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting. And from what I understand, I don't know if this is official, but from what I understand, whoever wins this fight with Abby and Reggie is going to face whoever the champion is.
Will be the number one contender. That's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
After Dat and Johnny. From what I understand, Dat and Johnny is first, and then the winner of Reggie and Abby will face the winner of that.
Face the winner of that fight. Yes. Yeah. And I'm really pumped about that. And guys, of course, for BKFC 12 on our 9/11 memorial show that we're doing this year, one of the very first memorial shows I've actually done. Not too many people run shows on that day. So it's just one of those things, but only place to really see it and to really experience bare knuckle at its best is, of course, is going to be on the Bare Knuckle TV app.
Yeah. Which, by the way, $5.99 a month. You get all the events.
Are you sure it's $5.99? I thought it was $3.99.
I believe it's $5.99.
I could be wrong. I haven't had a chance to look at the price point yet.
I'm gonna double check that. You might be right, Jeff.
I've been known to be right a time or two. I don't think I'm right on this one, but
it is $5.99 a month. But still, like $5.99 a month. That's like $5.99.
You won't miss it. You won't miss it. You spend more than that. You spend more than that on your morning coffee and muffin. So come on now.
I mean, let's be honest. It's $5.99 a month. Then they have like a yearly thing you can get if you want to do it that way. But I mean, $5.99 a month. That's,
like I said, you won't miss it. You will not miss it, and you get an opportunity to see continual awesome bare knuckle fighting during the pandemic.
Yeah, yep. Justin Sims have to fight a fight pass, and I mean not just that. And first off, I mean I'm just shooting the shit like it is. I'm not plugging it, but I mean if you're gonna get it. I mean, think about it. You're going to get all the other events too. It just seems stupid not to get it. You get all the previous events, all the past events, so you can kind of catch up if you're new to the sport.
Yeah.
If you want to go back and rewatch some of the, you want to go back and rewatch Beltran Lopez one, or whatever the hell else, you want to look at.
Speaking of which, I want to give a shout out to my boy, the Mexicutioner Joey Beltran, for joining me on episode number 8 of Dudes Talking Fights. We got him in a brief interview while he was at the airport getting ready for a little R&R because he's been in camp after camp after camp, anticipating his return, and unfortunately was never able to make it into fruition the way that we had it scheduled. But he has a few restful days out in Sin City. So, Joey, definitely rest easy, have those cocktails, enjoy sunny times by the pool, and get that R&R done, because you're going to have to bust your ass as usual when you get back home. But I appreciate you being on Dudes Talking Fights.
Then we also have Callie Cutler versus Christine Faria.
That'll return of the Misfit.
The return of the Misfit. And Callie Cutler, she's actually was supposed to fight. I don't know if people know this. She's actually supposed to fight 2 previous times. And both times something happened, whether it was the opponent got injured, like right before the fight. I believe that happened twice. So she's just munching at the fucking bit, man. Like she's chomping at the bit to really to get in there.
Hey,
Faria's
like that shirt, Justin? You like that shirt? I'm sorry. Justin's shouting out and saying that my wallpaper was in 3 Men and a Baby. Nah, man, this is the Outdoor America shirt, courtesy of my friends over there at Results. You want to see badass fitting shirts that are nice and airy and have got badass prints. This has now become my new obsession. Hopefully we'll be able to get them on for a little sponsorship kick. The way that I sell shit, it's definitely a possibility. But definitely check out Results, guys, man. That's a cool place. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Justin, man. I saw this and I said, I got to have that because that'll pop. And as you can see, it's popping. I'm not always fresh. I'm about 3/4 fresh. About a quarter of the time, I'm in my grubbies and my shorts and sandals. So 3/4, sir. But I appreciate the compliment nonetheless.
Come Halloween time, guys, save your money. Instead of going to like a haunted house or something, just drop some acid and stare at Jeff's shirt collection. You will be the
do a Hunter Thompson look at. Suddenly I see up in the sky all of these winged bats, and I'm saying to myself, what are these flying creatures? Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Speaking of dropping acid,
not at all, good sir, not at all. I am 100% au natural. You do not want to see me on drugs. In fact, I don't think anybody does.
My expressions are on point with Jeff because they're 100% authentic. I sure.
Oh, they're warranted. They're warranted. They're warranted. They're warranted. They're warranted. I don't doubt that. But no, the card is looking stacked as always. BKFC has never really had a problem about stacking cards because also we had a recent BKFC tryout just a few days ago.
We did
over in Kansas. So we did. And apparently I have been told that there are some potential bare knuckle fighters, some potential stars, some standouts that came out to the tryouts. And I'm always excited about that because the way that I see it, the more bloody knuckles we get into the squared circle, the better.
Absolutely.
The better. So I'm very excited to see who is going to step up to the plate and knock one out of the park as a new acquisition of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Exciting stuff.
Jared Warren also like I said, we go up and down. I'm still going over the card. Jeff just kind of, don't worry, just relax. Like I said, get in your 90s, roll into bed, and just let it roll over you. Let our nonsense just roll over you. Roll.
Okay, you've been watching The Gray a little bit too much. You're trying to talk somebody into death.
Breathe it in. Jared Warren versus Josh Dyer is on the card. Joe Elmore versus Tom Schoaf.
Oh, I'm excited about that. How could you not be?
Whoo, that's going to be something.
That's going to be fun.
If you do not know who either of these two gentlemen are,
you
please,
will.
Again, you will, but please get the app. Go watch it. Go watch Tom Schoaf's fight with Diego Gardillo and his fight against Julian Lane. Just wow.
Tom brings it. Tom brings it.
Tom brings it every time. He really does. He brings it every time. Jacob Brunel against Rusty Crowder. I don't think when's the last we saw Rusty Crowder.
Rusty unfortunately had to suffer a little bit of the boss's wrath. that one time.
That was
that one time to win. I certainly didn't expect that, but you know something, when you're talking about David Feldman, sometimes that just happens. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying when it comes to bare knuckle fighting championship, always expect the unexpected and just prepare yourself for anything. And Dave comes in on camera and saying, you know, that is just not going to fly here. And, you know, I saw him pacing around on the outside during the last fight. So hopefully he has gotten out of that habit and he is ready to toe the line and push that pace. I really hope he is, because we don't want to lose anybody to lack of enthusiasm when it comes to fighting. The last thing that you want to do is be fired because you were unwilling to toe the line and push the pace.
And real quick too, if you don't remember that, what Jeff's referring to is when he hopped on the mic and it got a lot of hoopla where he said he wasn't going to be passionate.
You know what it was? Dave's passionate. He follows his passion. Some people dug it. Some people didn't. There was a lot of media backlash behind that. But you know something? Dave did the right thing after that. You know, he went ahead and he said, you know something? You know, it was the heat of the moment. So many people do things at that time. Obviously, I'm not going to penalize him. I'm not going to take away his pay. I'm not going to do that. He just, you know, he is the biggest proponent.
Everybody still got paid as planned. Nobody got
always. Nobody got
just a knee-jerk reaction kind of thing. That's all it
was. Like no one's ever had it before, right? Exactly. It's just when it happens on television, it's completely under scrutiny because everything's supposed to be perfect on television, right? Nobody makes mistakes on television, right? Shit.
Also, too, I do want to bring up too the return of Lorenzo Hunt.
Yep, the Juggernaut
coming back at the Juggernaut in Daytona. So that's gonna be exciting. That's gonna be really exciting against Eric Lozano. So that'll be I think Eric Lozano. I believe this is his.
I haven't seen him lately. Does he have that nice enduring scar on his lip?
I don't know. I don't think so. I haven't had Lorenzo Hunt's.
See, look at Justin right there. I've worked for 9 promotions. David Feldman is the real deal. I 100% concur with you on that, Justin. Absolutely. David is the real deal. He's a different breed of promoter, but I've worked for so many. I mean, you say you worked for 9 promotions. I've worked for over 80. So I know the promoter brand, the breed. The brand, the breed, it's all different everywhere you go. And there is nobody in the world like David Feldman. Not saying that's a good thing, not saying that's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that there's no one like him in the world. And because there is no one like him in the world is the reason why Bare Knuckle is the success that it is. Because he believes in the product, because he knows that this is the wave of the future when it comes to combat sports, which is the damnedest thing because bare knuckle fighting has been around for forever. It just hasn't been accepted into modern time and to mainstream media. And now it's starting to get there. It's going to be a while, I think, before, you know, Josh, we get 100% mainstream acceptance. Sure. You know, I mean, that just takes time. That just takes time and building the brand and knowing that there is a place to go that will consistently deliver for the fans. And we always do. I don't remember one bare knuckle show where we haven't given the fans everything that we got.
Well, I mean, I'd go even as far to say, Jeff, is I feel like you guys, every time you guys put on a show, you're kind of like you get one step closer. Like it's never like you guys are just kind of like at a stalemate. Every show you guys progress. So it's like whether that be
there's a good fight every show. Every show. Fight, there's a good fight.
Bigger superstars coming into the organization, whatever. Like you guys are always, you know, whether it's a smaller step or a bigger step, there's always, you know, a positive direction. So.
I don't really look at anybody who thinks about coming into Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship as a step down. If anybody ever thinks that, man, you really need to rethink. You really need to rethink it because Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship has had one of the most successful debuts of any combat sports brand that there is. Bar none. Very, very few. I can't. Can you recall any? Can you recall any, Josh? I can't recall any debuts that were more successful than Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship.
Maybe that KY Jello promotion.
Well, you know what? They're eventually going to run out of product. They're going to run out of product with that because
literally,
they will because I mean it's a pandemic. So come on.
Yeah, literally.
You don't think that KY jelly and adult products aren't getting like sold out like gangbangers because everybody's at home?
That's a good point. You know what? I as a joke, I was joking about that, but that is a very good point, sir.
Absolutely. I mean, seriously, I'm going to tell you something right now. At one point, when there was no pandemic, you could probably say 1 in every 1,000 men own a fleshlight. Now you can probably say
it's not that common.
Now you can probably say 1 in every 500 probably own a fleshlight now.
I don't know about. A lot of people they still don't know what that is. I don't think.
Look it up. You've got the best tool to look up anything in the world. It's called the World Wide Web. But who fucking calls it that anymore?
You do with your Michael Jordan cap on, apparently.
Will you stop with the motherfucking Michael Jordan cap? It's the Samuel Jackson cap. Michael Jordan was not as well known for wearing the Kangol brand as Samuel Jackson.
The Kangol brand?
The Kangol. Like Kangol, like kangaroo. You see the kangaroo there, man? Yes, this is old school. This is 90s. This is 2000s. It's okay. I can bring it back if I fucking want to.
Jeff, do you need to talk?
No, I'm that's all I'm doing. Do I need to talk? You're asking me if I need to talk? I think you need to rethink that.
You've got the 90s hat. You've got
how many
on. You've got the
I love this shirt. I love
the yellow submarine-ish, Beatles-ish, 4th of July-ish, graffiti-ish shirt on.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on, Jeff?
Oh, nothing. My wife just sent a funny text. How many does Jeff own? You're talking about which ones? Are you talking about hats or fleshlights? In answer to your question, Howie, I own I don't. I have one. I have one.
I'm gonna have to mute Jeff.
You're no fun, man. I swear. We're trying to keep it real, and yet here comes Josh. Oh no. Censor, bad things, bad vibes, PC, blah blah blah. Speaking of which, PC, before we get too far, I want to go off topic, which we always do, and I want to talk about something that I watched this weekend that, wow, the disparity that I saw in this show. On Netflix, which is trending right now, the Cobra Kai series is now streaming on Netflix.
Yep.
Most of us know that you had to subscribe to YouTube Red to get that because that was a YouTube exclusive. Yes. But Netflix ended up buying the rights to that for the time being, and I binge watched Cobra Kai season 1 and 2, and I loved every.
Don't talk too much about season 2.
I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it vague. To keep it vague. I understand the concept of spoiler alert. I absolutely do. Okay. But the point of what I'm trying to say is that the way that they did the series was almost identical to the way that they did the movie.
Yeah.
And that's what I was a little afraid of. I was a little afraid of them falling off of the recipe.
Yeah.
Even though it had a modern twist to it, there was still a little Cobra Kai Never Die, Miyagi-Do, even though, of course, Pat Morita's been dead for many years, even though that he was referred to time and time again throughout the series. It was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. And the kids pulled it off very well. But what was really funny for me was the disparity between the generations. Yeah. Which is really starting to become a thing on more and more shows that we see, to where we're seeing the older generation attempting to make ends meet with the newer generation, the Generation Z or Generation Alpha or whatever the fuck that you want to call it. But I'm going to tell you, man, it was a little tough for me sometimes because there was one motherfucker in this series that I honestly believe is a direct representative of how the generation is kind of going these days. You remember that lanky, geeky kid, Dimitri? He was the one. He was the one that was always using the politically correct terms.
Oh, yes.
He was the one that's saying, "I want to take karate, but I don't want to get hit."
Correct. Yes.
And he was also the one that was correcting people on their nomenclature, especially when he was talking to, Sensei Lawrence, Johnny, when he was talking to Johnny, and he was talking about, you shouldn't say this, you should say that. I can completely understand why a little timid fuck like this gets beat up, because the one thing that I can't stand as an adult, because I've come across many people of this generation that have the balls to come up to you and change your way of thinking, saying that you need to say it like this now. This, and this. That you absolutely, that not asking, but telling you that this is the way the world works now. And just watching Johnny kind of come to terms with that. I mean, throughout the series, he didn't know how to use a computer. He didn't know what Facebook was. He kept calling it the Facebook. I'm on the Facebook. I mean, it was like, seriously, it was like talking to the Iron Sheik, the Hulk Hogan, the Mr. Perfect, the motherfucker. He kept putting the in front.
I don't think I've heard the word like pussy and bitch so many times.
Oh my God. You're right. I know.
Or a movie ever. I swear every other line was, what are you, a pussy or something? Are you guys a bunch of pussies? Are you guys a bunch of bitches?
Oh, what was so funny in the first season. Remember when he was putting that TV up on that woman's wall and he said, would you stop bitching? Would you call me a bitch? No, I didn't call you a bitch. I asked you to stop bitching. And then, of course, he gets fired and he's on the phone with his boss. No, I didn't call her a bitch. I said to stop bitching.
It's two different things.
I know. But that's what I'm talking about. It's the disparity between the generations. And, the funny thing, what it made me realize, Josh, is that the disparity between the generations, like Generation X to I'd probably say to the tail end of the millennials, is probably just the most fucked up generational gap that there's ever been. I really don't. I mean, seriously, I really don't understand when people started getting really rude, telling you have to think this way, that you have to say things gender fluid, gender biased, all this crap. And now you even have these fucking little millennials that are going back, rewatching like the Seinfeld series and saying that they're offensive and that they need to be taken off air on a rerun basis. I absolutely cannot believe. It's almost like, it's almost like that they're trying to recreate history to make it something that's a little bit. No. I'm going to tell you, the baby boomers I can handle. The baby boomers I can handle because the baby boomers, Howie, were part of the please and thank you generational. There was a certain part of generational where there was about respect, where you didn't absolutely go off on somebody. I mean, you know this for a fact, Josh. When you're on the highway, and if anybody makes any kind of mistake, you happen to almost go into somebody else's lane, you cut somebody off. I have never seen people so fucking angry so quickly.
Yeah. Yes.
They are so angry.
You want me to tell you something else? And it's a fucking pet peeve of mine. It's so like when if somebody lets me in, let's say like there's you're merging, right? And somebody lets you in. I always, behind me, like thank you.
So absolutely. If somebody's gonna do that for me, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I always thank you, just so they could see me, and when people I let people over and they don't do it for whatever reason, drives me up the fucking wall. There's no sense of unity, conformity.
There's just no sense of
no fucks, Jeff.
I know they don't. That's why when I'm out and about, I don't even hold doors open for people anymore. I used to, when somebody was there, I used to do that, but it's not worth it anymore. Because I'm going to tell you, yes. If I have a little old lady,
if it's like grandma or something,
if it's like a grandma or something, I guarantee I'm going to get a thank you from her. But if I see a little self-entitled piece of shit teenager, no. Because I got to the point to where I was holding doors open and they walk in like I'm a fucking doorman. So I just started saying out loud to embarrass the fuck out of them, "You're welcome." Oh, and they They changed their minds after that. But I don't even do that anymore. You're right. You have to kind of look out for, everything like that. So I get so frustrated about these changes, but the changes are fine. But telling me that I absolutely have to do this when you're a self-entitled little young piece of shit that hasn't experienced anything in life, and you're telling me that I have to, you're telling me that my way of thinking is passé and that I have to do this. Well, let me tell you what you have to do. But I'd rather not, because, I'd get into it a little bit too, I'd make it quite loquacious, and it would definitely be more TVMA than what these little, participation trophy fucks are used to. So I'm sorry, man. I am going to keep my train of thought. I mean, there's nothing wrong with understanding the changing of times. But when you're forced to do it, that's a different thing. Or when you're attempted to be forced to do it by somebody who doesn't know. And also people that are just so incredibly rude and they don't see it. That's a weird thing, Josh, that they don't see it. At one point, people saw if they were being rude to their fellow man, their fellow woman, whatever. They would see that. They'd acknowledge it. They'd say, I'm sorry. But now everybody's just so fucking angry. I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like the speech that the Joker was talking about when he was on the Murray Show.
Right.
When he was saying, everybody's crying for, these Wall Street guys, but you pass by me on the street every day. And he's he's saying nobody's civil anymore. Everybody is so mean. Everybody shouts. Everybody yells. Nobody is civil anymore. And that's true. And that's true. Well, I mean, something that's not 100% true. The smaller towns that you go to in certain places in America, you will still see traditional American civility. In some of these towns, you will actually see that. In some of the smaller towns, the bigger the city you get to, the more disconnected everything's going to be. The more, because there's so many options. Nobody has to live with anybody. You get to choose who you live with when it comes to a big city. I mean, I'm sure you can agree with me on that, Josh. You have more choice of who your inner circle is. When you live in a small city where everybody knows you, everybody knows what's going on, the circle it's more accepting because there's only so many people that live in that city. So therefore, they're a little bit more accepting, as opposed to, like I said, in a big city, you can insert yourself to any social circle you want, and you can stay in that circle and not have to worry about anybody else. And that's where the disconnect is.
All right, well, I want to talk about another disconnect real quick. Speaking of millennials.
But before you do, if you haven't watched Cobra Kai, watch the Cobra Kai episode.
Amazing.
It really is.
90s kid, please.
Two thumbs up. Thumbs up on that. And the exciting part is that season 3 will be coming out.
Yeah.
So they are continuing it. They are continuing in the series as they should.
I want to bring this up too, Jeff, and I don't know if you read this. So earlier today, the number is fucking staggering. Okay. So CDC reports that all of the COVID-19 deaths, 94% of them had other conditions, meaning like there was something else wrong.
There was a pre-existing condition with one of those. Yes, I'm surprised it's that. I'm surprised it's that low. I thought it'd be higher than
that. And it ends up being, I want to say, somebody did the math. It ends up being like it's not even 10,000. Now I say that I know somebody like, well, fuck, that's still 10,000. Yes, I understand, but I mean, it's better than
death. Death is death. I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to say is versus the 800 fucking thousand or something that they're trying to say, it's a way fucking lower number than this magical 500,000 or whatever the fuck they're trying to tell people that it is. Only 6%.
It's hard for me to believe anything anymore that what I'm told, because they're just, there are just so many media outlet options now. You really have to look hard to find one that is all about journalistic integrity.
It's crazy. So this one, you only find this, and mind you, it's direct from the CDC, so it's not like it's a, the CDC. It's not like it's fucking from like Infowars or something. Like this is a CDC report, and the only people that are really reporting on it are like smaller outlets, local news stations. There's no fucking CNN article saying, "Hey, CDC reports 94%." Blah blah blah. Nobody's reporting. It's fucking weird. Like, wouldn't you think you would want to talk about that because it could maybe people would get like a breath of relief. They're
not during elections, not during elections. As close as we are, that's not as important.
Like, wait, you mean it's not quite as bad as what people are saying?
Oh my God, Kel Surprise. The hell you say? Please. It's hard for me to believe. Like I said, it's hard for me to believe anything. I mean, you can believe whatever you want, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be fact. I'm not really interested in the facts. What I'm more interested in is getting shit back on track. Getting shit back on track. Getting these riots stopped. I mean, I can't relate. I'm sorry. I cannot relate to the topic at discussion. I can't. And I'm not going to attempt to. I can't sympathize. I can barely even empathize. But the only thing that I know is that any loss of life is wrong, number one. And number two, rioting and looting innocent people that have nothing to do.
Not the fucking
that have nothing to do. I'm sorry. That is wrong too. And I'm also going to say something, and I don't care what anybody says. I actually got into a little bit of a back and forth on Facebook about this one. Hey, Sheena, girl, Puma Star joining with us. How you doing, sweetie?
Yeah, Sheena, what's up?
I do not agree in any way what took place a few days ago with the Brewers game. I'm with Milwaukee. I do not agree. I do not agree that not the Brewers, excuse me. I do not agree that the entire game decided to walk off in protest. I don't agree with that at all. They're rescheduling games because of that. I don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. I understand that people are trying to make a point, but I also know that these are multi-millionaires that are getting opportunities that most people would kill to have.
Let me tell you what.
To play a fucking game, and you're going to, well, basically what you're doing is you're in breach of your own contract by not going out there and doing what we need you to do. Honestly, if we ever needed team sports to show any solidarity, and of course people say, oh, well, they are showing solidarity. I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. Their job is to play. Their job is to play.
What they're doing is placating to the media. And I'll tell you something else. All these fucks.
I don't agree with it.
All these media people, all these celebrities, all these fucking sports stars, like you said, that are getting paid millions and millions of dollars. Where the fuck have these people been all of a sudden? If you think that these people really truly give a shit, you're out of your mind.
Oh, they may give a shit. They're just not going to do anything about it.
I think that these people, it's the thing to do. It's like it's the fucking cool kids say.
It's the popular thing to do.
Right?
Yes,
to say no justice, no peace. Like, do you really think that this fucking person that makes $10 million, you think that they actually truly give a shit whether they're black, white? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's irrelevant. I like, you really think that they're sitting there going, God, man, I hope this stuff really gets better. They don't give a fuck. They don't care. They're doing it because it's the cool thing to do. It's the political thing to do. And if you don't do it, you will be fucking canceled. Cancel culture. They're doing it out of fear. They're not doing it because they truly support some cause. I mean, like I said, maybe a minute few, but most of these fucking people, these rich people, you think they care about what happens to the fucking common folk, man?
It says right there. It says, Howie said it perfectly right there. Their job is to entertain us, not force their leftist agenda on us. Now, I kind of agree. I kind of agree and disagree with you a little bit on there, Howie, because if they want to force their agenda, do it on your own fucking time. Do it on your own fucking time. But when it's your turn to get on that fucking court and do your job for your diehard fans that can't even be there to watch you fucking play, but they're still tuning in to the game because they have to have some degree of normalcy backed by some live sports, even if they can't be there and you're not there for your fucking fans, which they're the reason that you are where you are in the first fucking place. There are two contributing factors to professional athletes: God-given talent and your fan base, and your fucking fan base. And when you do that to send a message instead of doing your fucking job, it's basically flicking off the fans. It's basically saying, "Fuck you. This is more important than you are." Not when you're on the clock to be on the court. Like I said, you want to play out your agendas to whatever's happening in society. Do it on your own fucking time.
Yeah.
The only reason that you're doing it there is because you've got a bigger audience. That's the only reason that you're fucking doing it, is because more people are watching that. More people. Why do you think people get so fucking pissed off at football games when players take a knee? Do you know why? Because the majority of America is watching team sports. They're watching football. They're watching basketball. When you send a message with that many eyes on you, obviously,
not so much anymore.
But you have an agenda if you are doing that. You have an agenda if you are doing that. Okay? You just do. Okay? I don't really care so much about the taking the knee. Taking the knee is a form of peaceful protest. And they're not doing it they're not doing it to disgrace or to do it against the military. They're not. That's not why they're doing it. I get why they're doing it. The national anthem is a ceremony. The national anthem is a ceremony. It is a time-honored traditional ceremony. This is true.
Yeah.
But it is. But if that's what you choose to do, instead of looting, instead of burning shit down and harming innocent people that have nothing to do with your agenda, I say go for that 100 times a day and twice on Sunday. No problem there. No problem there. But I'm sorry, as a fucking professional, you don't go out there and you don't do your job because of that. No. I think that's
bottom line, Jeff. If I went out and fucking, if I was working at McDonald's down the street and I'm like, hey, hold on, guys, I know we're in a fucking lunch rush here. Give me a second. And took a knee. I don't know why the anthem would be playing in the middle of McDonald's. But let's just hypothetical here. I'd probably be fired. They'd probably be like, "Hey, get the clock out and get the fuck out of here." Mm-hmm. So it's like you said. In terms of over the looting and the rioting and stuff. Hey, 100%.
And you'd think, honestly, for those of you who are listening to us, of course, you'd probably think that us talking like this, that we ourselves have an agenda by saying what we're saying, that maybe we're more far leftist, more far rightist. Let me tell you something right here and right now about Mr. Good Old Jeff Houston, about my life. I am not a political person in any way, shape, or form. I am not a religious person in any shape or form. I do not put my faith into political candidates because I don't believe that there's a one out there that can do what America truly needs. I'd rather put my faith into people trying to attempt to do the right thing instead of putting unnecessary power in, power-hungry jackoffs that have no intention of making things better for us. I'm not going to get into the whole religion thing because you never know who you're going to offend with that and such. I'm just saying that I am the kind of person, people have even asked me about that, and I don't know why they would just ask me out of the blue, about what you believe in that. I myself, the minute that you say that you don't do this, you're labeled something. And I hate that. I hate labels. I do not live my life by labels. I have no labels that are attached to my name and my way of life. Out of all the world travels that I've done, I have been able to actually see multiple religions played out in multiple temples, in multiple churches and such. I have been able to see so many different ones played out beautifully. And the way that I look at it, I believe that every single one of them have a good message. And what I like to do is I like to cultivate those messages all into one way of thinking, because I all think that they have wonderful messages. It's just unfortunately so many of them are you're with us or you're against us. And I think if you're talking about any kind of religion, that should actually be the last thing that they should be talking about. I have an open mind about that, and that's the way that I look at it. I don't say that anyone is wrong. I don't have the balls to do that, and more importantly, it's none of my fucking business. It's none of my fucking business what you believe in. If you believe in something and it makes your life better because of that, more power to you. I am very happy for you. I'm very, very, very happy for you. But I don't have any agendas. I don't. I live my life the way that I live my life. I love my life. I love my work. I love my wife. Like I said, I love what I do for a living. I love my friends. I like the opportunity to get on the mic and talk to everybody. Yeah, I love you too, Josh, but don't let your head get too fucking big, man. But that's what I'm about. That's what I'm about. I don't let those things define my life. I don't let anything define my life other than how I treat people and what I do. Seriously, I could give two fucks. Josh, I've never been a fan of, if somebody is famous or rich. Just because somebody is a celebrity doesn't mean that they're a good person. So many people are always in awe or enamored by crazy wealth and crazy fame.
Yeah.
And the way that I look at it is that I could give two shits what you're worth. What I care about is the depth, the content of your character. And how you treat other people.
100%.
That to me says everything about a person. And if you treat people the way that you would like to be treated, dude, you're in my cool book. It's the easiest thing in the world. I don't care where you come from. I don't care if you're black, white, blonde, skinny, blue, rich, or poor. If you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. Plain and simple. No fucking agenda. So all of you who are thinking that I'm trying to put this together in some kind of off-camera agenda package, you are wrong. I'm done.
And scene.
That's it. All right. Woo, that was a good scene, man. I'm gonna tell you, I was really into character there, Josh. I really think that I reached a lot of people with that.
That whole millennial fuck line. It's really good.
Like I said, we don't know where we're going to go. We have no fucking clue where we're going to go with Loudmouth Fisticuffs. All we know is that we're not out here to, ruffle. Well, maybe we're out here to ruffle a few feathers. But at the same point, if you're not ruffling feathers, then what the fuck is the point of everything? Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to ruffle a few feathers. That's just the way that it is. But
I'm definitely down with that, man. And I guess I will not go into the link that you just did, but
you can.
I have to, but I will say this. I definitely shared some of the same opinions on that in terms of, I don't give a fuck what you are, man. Like, I don't care what you look like, what you do, or, I don't care. I don't care how rich you are, how poor you are, be a good fucking person. It's free. It takes a little bit of effort, but it's free. Be a good fucking person, and
yeah, if you're so fucking wealthy, why can't you pay attention?
Yeah, me and you are going to get along famously. Just be a good fucking person, and I don't care what you are, man. And like, as far as politics goes, I wouldn't say I'm heavy into politics. I've got preferences, and just like
it's entertaining. I'll say that much.
It is entertainment. At this
point,
it
is entertaining.
It's the new.
I don't subscribe to it. I don't subscribe to it, but it's entertaining. I will say it's fucking entertaining. At least it's like what what's his name said. I've said this before to you. What Denzel Washington said in Training Day. This is a newspaper. It's 90% bullshit.
Yeah,
but it's entertaining.
Yeah,
that's why I read it, to be entertained.
Yeah.
Just because I don't subscribe to it doesn't mean that I'm not entertained by it.
Interesting.
It's true, right? It's true, though, isn't it? It just gets seriously, especially around election time. Things just get wilder and wilder. But the one thing that I don't like about election time, Josh, that really, really just bakes my bacon, What really bakes my bacon when it comes to election time is the way on social media and when people are in person, the way that they talk to one another based on who they're voting for or who they're with, or, how they say that if you're a Trump supporter, we can't be friends. And they say horrible, horrible things to one another. And I mean, very hurtful, stupid, hurtful fucking things. Once the election is over, it's almost like some of them call you back, say, "Hey, man, what's going on? The elections are over. I figure, we can hook up, man. Go get something to eat." And I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't you call me about a week ago saying that I was a blood belching vagina?
Didn't you call me a racist piece of shit?
Racist piece of shit because I believe this person. And no, they go back to some of them who said these things. They go back to their normal lives like nothing happened. They're like, oh no, that was election talk. That was election talk.
That was just. Don't worry about all that. I didn't mean it. Let's
disregard that. Disregard that. That wasn't me.
So I'm not a piece of shit. That's what you're saying.
You are indicating that you are the alpha piece of shit. Actually, when you're actually doing that, you're to try to see if you can come back from that. There is no coming back from that. So that's why I don't mess with it. And I have a best friend. My best friend. I want to give a shout out to my best friend Dante Small. I didn't do a show last week with Dudes Talking Fights because, unfortunately, his mother passed away at the age of 70 with a very long battle with cancer that was extremely metastasized. And unfortunately, she left a hell of a lot sooner than we thought that she would. So that's why I didn't do Dudes Talking Fights last week, because I was there for my best friend, and it's never easy the first time or any time that you lose a parent. So, nothing but thoughts, prayers, and loves to my best friend of 29 years. 29 years. He's been my best friend, my true blue friend that I've gone to. I mean, I'm his baby. I'm his baby's uncle. I'm not even his brother, but I'm his baby's uncle. And he's meant so much in my life. And, I knew his mother longer than I knew my own father. She was practically a parent to me. She was a parent to me. So when you lose someone like that, it hurts. So I just want to send, good thoughts out to my best friend, Dante Small, saying, man, take it one day at a time, man. If you got to break down, go with the pain. Don't fight it. If you fight the pain, it's just going to make it worse, man. But take it one day at a time. I always tell people when they're grieving, never look too far ahead in the future on how you think you're going to feel. Right. Take it one day at a time. Assess the pain, assess the grieving, take it one day at a time. Don't say you're going to be fine, because you're not going to be fine. Right. I'm going to tell you, you're never going to get over it, but you will move forward. And I can't stand it. Dude, I can't stand it when friends or acquaintances tell you to get over something. That pisses me off when people say that, because you're not going to. I don't think you'll ever get over death. You're not going to get over death. Death is forever. You're not going to get over that. However, you will move forward. Right. You will move forward. Yeah. My father passed away when I was 11, and I'll never get over it, because he's gone. Right. But I have moved forward. So when you're talking to your friends or when you're talking to the bereaved, never tell anybody to get over it. Never tell anybody. Tell them to dust themselves off and keep moving forward. That's a much better way to approach somebody who's grieving. Oh, thank you, Sheena. I know. You see the bomb pop. The bomb pop on there. Yeah. Check them out, Sheena. They're called Results, but they're called Results RSVLTS instead of a U. So check that out, Results, man. Badass fucking shirts. I've already got 4 of them already, so I'll be wearing more and more on Loudmouth Fisticuffs.
I've got it for the last 3 hours, Sheena. Please, guys, can we not ask Jeff about his shirt anymore?
Oh, cut it out. It's a cool shirt. I can't help it. If you want it. Hey, look at you wearing the absence of color.
Hey, it's just a black polo, man.
Yes, it's called the absence of color. It's not even a color. Black is the absence of color.
Black is certainly a color.
No, it is not. In the actual spectrum of colors, it is actually noted as the absence of color, whereas white is every color, where the color white is every color.
White is every color.
Yeah, it's every color in the spectrum.
What are you trying to say, Jeff?
I am talking about colors as themselves, as you see on the lovely Crayola crayons. You have black, you have white, you have burnt sienna, you have orange, you have surf blue. So many different colors. But we are talking about that. Okay? Stop trying to get me in fucking trouble. That's not the direction I was going on.
Racist piece of shit.
Hey, I said I loved you a second ago, man.
All right.
You fucking fart goblin. God.
All right. Hey, I told you not to call me that no more. I don't appreciate it.
Well, you just called me a racist piece of shit. What am I supposed to do?
Hey.
You just said it. What are you saying hey for? Hey, I'm innocent. I never said that. Oh, no. You just called me that.
It's just show rhetoric, Jeff.
Show rhetoric. Yeah.
It works, Jeff.
Pass it off to the show rhetoric. You see what I have to fucking put up with here, Sheena?
Which is
I like that. I like that. I like that shirt. This the two St. Louis lawyers that had the guns. I like that. Yeah, up, get done up.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that there were charges pressed against them. They were absolutely right. They were absolutely right. I'm sorry.
Right. If I see a group of people, I don't care what fucking color they are. If I'm living in like a gated community.
Now, was it their property or was it what was it their property or was it a political property? Was it actually their property that they were guarding, or was it like a mayor's house, a governor's house, or was it some kind of political residence? It was their house. It was their house. Okay, yeah. So what you're saying is people don't have the right to defend their own fucking house, but the only reason that they're pissed off about it is because they were outside. Is that the big deal about it? Is they were still on their property?
Like, can you imagine? If you really explain the scenario out loud, you can really understand how fucking silly it really is, right? Like,
I thought that was one of our inalienable rights.
So this high rich neighborhood,
historic property they bought. Thank you for clarifying that, Howie.
Yes, it was their house, but yeah, it was historic property. Yes, that's right. So like high up neighborhood, gated community, these people got into the fucking gated community where there's not supposed to be like random fucking people marching. Okay?
All right, well then they broke the law.
So
then they broke the law. You're not supposed to be able. You cannot protest in those communities if you are not a resident.
And you see a big group of people, you go outside because like you've seen on fucking YouTube and on CNN, some of these people are fucking busting out windows, lighting shit on fire. So your thing is, goddamn, this is a historic house. They're not fucking this house up. So you're going to go out there with your guns, and the people that are like marching up to your house have the nerve to be mad at you for
defending your own property according to the Second Amendment rights.
Can you imagine? Like honestly,
yes, unfortunately I can imagine it. I don't put anything past people anymore. They're going to find a negative spin on anything.
I want to press charges on these two assholes with their guns trying to stop us from getting in. I want to press charges on that. I'm offended.
They waved their guns. They didn't shoot anybody. They didn't shoot anybody. Here, I mean, would they have done the same thing if those two same people came out with tasers, just waved them around, but didn't actually shoot them? It was the mayor of St. Louis's house, and those lawyers were his neighbor. Okay. Well, you know what? There's still nothing wrong. There's still nothing wrong with that.
Either way, they were still protecting property, right?
They're still protecting private property. There's nothing wrung with that at all.
Yeah.
No. Now, it would have to depend on if they did that against the mayor's consent. Now, unfortunately, the way the world works, especially in the United States way. Now, I could see if the mayor didn't agree with that, and maybe he went public saying, I did not give them consent to publicly defend.
That's completely different. If he wanted to press something, fine. It was his property. They were there trespassing. That's a whole different ball game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's different. That's different.
That's right. That's right.
These shits that broke into the damn community that shouldn't have been
there. They shouldn't have been in the community to begin with.
Like like end of fucking discussion. They shouldn't have been there in the
I'm
first.
sorry. No, you didn't. No, I'm gonna tell you, if you are not a part of that gated community, you're trespassing. You're trespassing. Look at that. Sheeta's saying protesters were screaming that they were going to burn down their house.
Yeah.
And they were throwing shit at the house. You damn right that I'm gonna come out armed.
And yet some of these people are like, oh, I'm terrified of those two white people holding guns. I'm terrified that they're going to react to us throwing shit at their house. I'm terrified.
You're terrified of two people who live in that community that are defending a fellow neighbor's property. You're afraid of them, but you broke in to that neighborhood, threatening to burn down that house, and you're afraid of that. It's almost like you know what it's like. There was an episode of Married with Children way back when where somebody broke into Al's house and Al knocked him out, and the robber sued Al.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And the robber sued Al. There was a really funny story on you remember that movie Liar Liar?
Yep.
You remember the story when the secretary was getting ready to quit and she was talking about, my friend had a burglar in her house, a burglar. He was going to rob her. He fell through the kitchen ceiling, fell onto a kitchen knife, cutting his leg. The robber sued my friend $6,000. And she said, let me ask you, is that justice? And he's like, no, I'd got him 10.
I remember. I'd have got him 10. Yeah. I remember that.
That's the sad world that we live in, unfortunately, that people think that, no, unfortunately, the minute that you start waving a gun, shit just goes awry, even though that gun has been defended to the death by the Second Amendment rights and by the never ending, support of the NRA. No matter how many people get shot, no matter how many people die in massive shootings, nothing is going to be done in order to curb those shootings to any specific degree. So the problem with it is that I think, honestly, gun control is necessary, but certain gun control is necessary.
I'll tell you
automatic gun
and shoot some people. If there's a crazy enough motherfucker and he's got, whatever, like I don't give a fuck how much gun control you have. They're going to find a way.
You're going to find a way. You're going to find a way. But you need to knife, whatever. But you need to crack down on automatic weapons and assault rifles. You need to crack down why does a fucking regular civilian need an AR-15? Why the fuck do you need an AR-15? I'm sorry, man. I live out in the country, and I am definitely one about bearing arms, but I have shotguns. Okay, I have shotguns, and I don't even really believe in handguns that much. I mean, I believe in your right to have them. If you want to have them for yourself, then that's fine. But I'm a shotgun person, and I am a person to where if I need to defend my property, I have what I need. And I also don't believe in lethal force immediately. I actually believe more in a non-lethal response, because I told you before, Josh, that I'm an Uber driver on top of what I do. So with all the other things that I do, when I decide to Uber, I'm fine. And I told you that one story. I haven't been able to share it on Loudmouth Fisticuffs, but it's an interesting story. Everybody has their unruly passenger story if they're an Uber driver. Everybody has one. I had a drunken one on the north side of San Antonio. I think it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not armed when I drive, but I do have a taser gun. I do have a taser. I do have one of those. So I picked up this guy that was, I picked him up from a sports bar on the north side of San Antonio. It was a pretty long drive to actually drop him off. It was about, like I said, 2, 3 o'clock, something like that in the morning. And he started getting aggressive with me. And, some people are just those aggressive drunks that, are kind of hard to subdue. So he kept leaning against the front seat. And then he started talking shit and saying, I could kick your ass if I wanted to. I don't care that I'm in a moving car. And I said, sir, I don't think you want to do that. I said, I just want to get you home safe and sound. And he's like, oh, that's great, but I can still kick your ass. And I think I'm going to do it. and I warned him. And I actually warned him. I said, sir, I said, I will respond if you do something. And I'm always nice about it, but I issue a stern warning. He sat back for a little bit. And then when we were about, 10 minutes away from his house, he decides to attempt a rear naked choke on me while I'm driving. The one thing that I learned, no matter what, because unfortunately, when that happens to people, they freak. The one thing that I was taught, when somebody subdues you, the worst thing that you could do is freak. Yeah. So I relaxed. I put a block under his choke, reached right onto the side of where I keep it in my side panel of my door, reached around and tased him. And tased him right. I tased him right over by the kidneys, because that's usually a knockout shot, either the liver. If you ever tase anybody to where you don't want to leave a mark, it's either the kidneys or the liver. Around those areas, those are 100% knockout shots with that. So I did that. I pulled over. I also keep some zip ties underneath my seat, because like I said, you never know if you're going to come across somebody. I pulled him out in the curb. I zip tied his legs. I zip tied his hands. I fucking hog tied his ass. I made sure that I had a video on, because I have a dash cam. So that, because that's always good to have. So I took video of everything. The first thing that I did is I reported the incident to Uber and let them know that I did subdue a passenger that did attempt to harm me. And then I called the police and had them pick him up. I had to give the police the flash drive off of the dash cam so that they could, take a look at that. And I handled the situation. If you're an Uber driver, don't do knives or guns.
Right.
Because honestly, what is this guy going to come back? He's going to come back saying, you tased me. Tasers usually don't leave marks. Right. If you do it in the right spot. So they go to a doctor and they'll be like, I don't really see anything there. So don't put yourself in a position to where if you hurt somebody, they're going to have a mountain of evidence against you. And that's why when I drive, I always use my taser, because I don't care how big you are. That taser's knocking you the fuck out. That taser will subdue you. And this was a big guy. This guy was about 250, 260. I mean, he was a big guy. He was a decent sized guy, but in those situations, when you're defending, the point of the story that I'm trying to say is that if you're in a situation to where you know that you have to subdue somebody, take that, Sheena. Take the no.
Well, let him tell you the other story why he has it in his car at the beginning.
Oh no, there's no other story. There is no other story. I know. Don't shoot people. Simple as that. You're absolutely right, Howie. But when you're put in a situation to where you have to defend yourself, it's better to use a non-lethal response. It's so much better to use a non-lethal response. The tase and the zip tie actually was referred to me by a very good friend of mine who is a very long time Uber driver that had a similar experience. And he just said that that's the best way to handle yourselves, to where that you're not going to be at the end of a lawsuit if you have to subdue an unruly passenger. So there it is. So like I said, just, try the non-lethal response first before you rush to pick up a gun. Because honestly, shooting someone is one thing, but watching somebody squirm at the end of your taser, that's just fun. Watching someone squirm and twitch and, convulse when they're at the business end of your taser. Well, that doesn't sound too right. That doesn't sound the business end of your taser. No, I know, but no.
Be business end of anything.
Yeah, but no, watching someone get tased, now that's just entertaining. That's just that right there is pure American entertainment. You are justified to defend yourself. That's why I say shock the fucker. That's what I say. I mean, I'm going to tell you something. It's going to look a hell of a lot better than me if somebody comes after me with lethal force and I respond with a non-lethal response. It's going to look a hell of a lot better at me. I'm going to be looked at as the more responsible citizen because I didn't have to kill him. I shocked the fuck out of him and probably singed off his fucking ball hair doing it in the process, but I didn't kill him. I did not kill him.
Singed off his ball hair.
Yeah, I sent so much fucking electricity through him. It practically singed off your fucking ball hair.
That's a very oddly specific thing.
All right, fine. I singed off his eyebrows, his armpit hair. What the fuck do you want? His peach fuzz. All right, maybe he had a beard when I shocked him, and now he has peach fuzz. I don't fucking know.
No,
you're getting a little bit too specific there, good boy, my friend.
hey,
But I just say, I don't mind a lethal response if it's warranted. I don't mind a lethal response if it's warranted, but I try to avoid it at all costs, and I'd rather shock the fuck out of you and watch you squirm. Because because if I shock you, you're going to be out for a little bit, and I'm going to be able to either get away or subdue you.
If they're trying to kill you, then duck their life. Oh yeah.
You mean then fuck their life? I think you mean that. I think you mean fuck their life. I understand that, Sheena. Okay, hey. I'm a red-blooded American just like anybody else, and I believe defending your life is everything, and I totally agree with that. But if somebody's coming after you and they don't have a gun, but they're trying to cause you bodily harm, then I'm not going to be a pussy and shoot you if they don't have a gun, but I am going to shock the fuck out of you. I'd rather do that than break my fucking hand. If I'm doing something like that and I break my fucking hand, I've automatically taken myself 50% out of the fight. I'd rather shock you. I'd rather shock you, like I said, in your liver or your kidneys. So at least that way you're put down.
It's a good thing you know a fuck ton of bare knuckle fighters and they can tell you how to punch.
Right? Oh, I know. It's not the lack of not knowing to punch. I have been around combat sports for 17 years. I know how to punch. That's not the issue. It's just that when somebody's coming after you in a motherfucking street fight, I would much rather tase their ass than fucking do that. Because like I said,
I think you just like singeing people's ball hairs off, Jeff. That's what I think you like.
To each his own.
All right. Before I don't want to not do the top 10.
No, we are. We are. I don't care how fucking tired you are. We promised several people that we would actually get a top 10 knocked out today, and we're going to do it.
You should have been a cop because they like shooting people. Hey, he also likes playing with people's ball hairs, apparently, too. So.
I did not say that, sir. I'm just saying that I pump enough electricity through you that may happen. I never said that I liked it. Stop focusing on the media narrative, you bastard.
Kind of close to what you said.
Kind of close or not. Misa, so sorry. The last thing majority of gun owners want to do is shoot someone. Oh, I know that. That's always for in worst case scenario. Howie, of course. Yeah, of course. Most gun owners just want to have that just in case, because if you're caught in that situation, of course it'd be nice to have that. But like I said, if I'm in a situation to where guns aren't involved, I'd rather respond that way. But if guns are involved and they're looking for a lethal response, lethal intent, then I'm going to give a lethal response. That's completely different. I hear they get an erection after they get tased. TMI there, Puma.
No.
TMI. I do not need to. I do not need to know that information.
Sheena, actually, it's backwards in Jeff's instance. He's actually the one that, springs up a little bit when he tases, so he likes to.
Well, look at how well that he knows that. He sounds like he's speaking from experience.
Hey, I'm just.
You're sounding a little too sure of yourself there, sir.
Hey, I'm not judging you, man.
It's not a question of judging you. What you're doing is fudging the facts, is what you're doing.
Hey, if you're into it.
See? He's pulling a fucking Bobby Heenan. He is avoiding the confrontation.
1,000%, my friend.
He is avoiding the confrontation. And all he's trying to do, he's trying to focus on. I'm going to tell you. No, you've got a fucking BS and BS.
I'll be honest with you. I don't care what anybody else ever says about you about this.
Like people have said anything about me. I swear to God, it's almost like you have this, long list of people who have said these things about you.
I don't
about me.
Hey, just calm down because.
Can you stop? Hey! You're not the school counselor, so quit trying to.
I know we're friends.
As your school counselor, I don't think you can tell me anything. Okay. All right. Can we please get to the fucking top 10, please?
Oh, now he wants to get to the top 10.
I just said I wanted to. You're the one who was trying to almost cut off the program and not go into the top 10. I wanted to do the top 10. So nope. All right. We're going to go into the top 10 whether he fucking likes to or not. Okay. So the top 10, these guys, where are we going for sushi? I'm scoping out a couple of places in Daytona Beach, Howie, so we will definitely find a good spot. That's now something that is a constant when we that's what we do now is we try to find a hot sushi place, and we will find one. I will find one. I will definitely find one in Daytona Beach. But now getting on to the main event, which we have been asked for some time now, and that is our top 10. And this week we are going to be doing the top 10 most underrated fighters in MMA history. So I think, Josh, I would like you to fire the first shot on who you believe, as far as whether it be the ring or the cage. To start you off, who do you think is unappreciated and has given more to the MMA community than what they've received?
Real quick, I just want to verify the stipulation of this. Am I doing 5 and you doing 5, or we're both doing our own 10?
Yes, we're doing 5. 5 and 5.
Okay. In no particular order.
Yes, no particular order.
Man, this is tough.
I've got a bunch. I've got quite the list.
Yeah, this is tough. So I think right off the top of my head, and I know that when you hear his name, you're going to be like, yeah, but they talk about the fight all the time.
Okay, who?
That would be correct, but I don't think the other half of the fight here gets as much credit, and that is Stephan Bonnar. I think he's been extremely underappreciated. It's usually Forrest Griffin. Like I know a lot of people talk about the fight in general, so it's not like he's completely left out of the cold. But at the same time, I feel like Forrest Griffin. I mean, he won it twice. He beat him twice. So, but that fight was so important, it took those two guys. It wasn't just the Forrest Griffin show. I know he won, but like,
no, it took a collective effort to make that happen.
It takes two to tango, it takes two to dance, and that fight at that time.
It helped propel the UFC. It absolutely did. It absolutely did.
I think Stephan Bonnar. I think he's been way underappreciated. I really do. Like I know. I think him and they had the Hall of Fame thing, man. But I think like in like mainstream, I think really fandom more than like UFC. Just like general fans,
He's had some good moments, but unfortunately, when you put him up against superior athletes, unfortunately, he didn't fare out too well. I mean, do you remember how fucking shredded he was when he fought Anderson Silva?
I do.
He looked fucking great, but I'm gonna tell you something. He made a very critical error in that fight. Why would you attempt, especially when it's not part of your repertoire, a spinning back fist against someone like Anderson Silva? Yeah. Not good, and he's not even known for it. It's not even part of his arsenal. So he tries to do that, and I swear, the minute that he fell after that missed punch, I was like, that's it. That's it. He just lost the fight off of taking a chance like that. That spinning back fist, man, you got to be someone like Shoney Carter to pull that off in order to really have no, that's a very solid pick. Stephan Bonnar is a very, very solid pick because, underappreciated after the era of the Bonnar Griffin fight.
Yeah, I just feel like fans, I'd probably say half, if not more, fans now, they probably don't even know.
Yeah.
I just think more people should know who they are, who he is.
And their incredible contribution to the sport. Their incredible contribution to the sport. Okay, so that's a very good pick. Yeah. My next pick, I had to think about this one for a little bit, but I really would have liked to have seen him move on. But this individual retired in 2012, but I think he was actually one of the best heavyweights, and he would have gone on to be one of the best heavyweights. And I'm talking about the inaugural Bellator heavyweight champion, Cole Conrad. Cole Conrad was 9-0. He retired undefeated. The only reason that he retired is because he decided to become a full-time commodities broker. He decided that the fight world was not for him in the longevity, so he ended up leaving undefeated. And like I said, he was the inaugural Bellator heavyweight champion, and he was the Bellator Season 3 heavyweight tournament winner. He only had the one successful defense, but also Cole Conrad was a badass fucking wrestler.
Yes.
He was a badass fucking wrestler, man. He was a multiple-time gold medal Big Ten champion, NCAA Division I 2-time champion. I mean, seriously, Pan American champion. I mean, this guy was a great fucking wrestler, and he was a very awe-inspiring guy. I mean, he was not a short guy, dude. 6'5", 270 pounds. He was a big boy. You remember they used to call him the polar bear. The polar bear. And I think that he was very, very underrated because at the time in the heavyweights, especially with Bellator being as new as it was around that time, Cole Conrad was the dude to beat. He was the heavyweight fighter to beat. And it wasn't going to happen for him. He didn't want to continue on his MMA career. He had his life outside the cage already planned. So he decided to go after that, and he's been actually quite successful as a commodities broker. So good for him. But I definitely think he's another underrated and forgotten fighter, and he had a hell of a contribution to Bellator at the beginning.
I tell you what, man, this is tough.
I like Sheena's right there. The only reason Megumi Fujii, the only reason why she never made it big is because she never really made it big on the U.S. side.
Right.
She was a fucking legend, and I love Megumi. I've come into contact with her so many times because I've announced her husband. Her husband is a fighter with Road FC, and he's fought several times, and Megumi's always there at his corner. And she is just an amazing sweetheart, but she is a legend. She is a straight up fucking legend in Japan. She just never really got the opportunity to make it big in the U.S. because by the time that she got over to the U.S. for a couple of fights, her prime had already kind of passed a little bit. So, but yes, that's a good one, Sheena. I'm not going to put it to the list, but I'll give it an honorable mention.
You know what, too, and this is tough because it's there's a few of these guys, but especially the top three. I don't know if I can just pick one, but I mean,
add it to the list.
The guys like, Travis Fulton, Shannon Rich, Jeremy Horn, like these guys are number 1, 2, and 3 for most fucking fights in MMA history.
Oh yeah, because their combined record is over 500 fights.
I think it's more than that.
That's why I said over. That's why I said over.
Like you're talking
Travis Fulton alone is over 300 fights.
Travis and Shannon, like these guys were fighting
every week.
There was guys fighting, like it's just like just human cockfighting stuff, I'm talking like in fucking park.
Oh, they take it anywhere. They take it anywhere. It didn't matter where the fight was. They take it anytime, any place, anywhere.
I think these guys. I don't.
Well, who are you adding? Who are you adding to the list? Remember, we don't want to go too far off because the list is going to take us a while.
I know. This is tough. This is fucking tough. I mean, I guess to sum it up, I guess you probably have to say the number one, which is Travis Fulton. He's put so many fucking bumps and bruises and fights on his body, but like the dude is still all there. He's not.
Oh yeah. He's not a CTE candidate yet, which is amazing.
He's intelligent. He's funny to talk to.
Yep.
He's a cool dude, and
he is.
I've had the fortunate pleasure of being able to talk to him several times, and at length.
No, he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude.
It's people like that. He really, his name needs to be somewhere. Like
I agree.
I know. Did he
look at his contribution to the MMA world?
Yeah,
it's massive. It's huge.
I think there needs to be something for him, and
Like
really
a lifetime achievement award or something like that. Yeah.
something.
Absolutely. I think that's solid. Travis Fulton is a solid add-on to the list. I agree with that. I agree with that at all. All right, my next pick is I've mentioned him before. He is the best welterweight in the world, in my opinion. There's nobody that can touch him right now. Unfortunately, the advertising machine is not completely behind him, and I have no idea why, because he has given us fight after fight after fight. And you know this guy as a human axe, because all he likes to do is chop trees down. And of course, I'm talking about Douglas the Phenom Lima. Best welterweight in the world. Fought all over the world, fought the best, chopped down the best. Two-time Bellator, two-time tournament winner, two-time Bellator welterweight champ. So, and the reason why this guy is not on the absolute upper echelon where he absolutely should be and is not mentioned in the same breath with the greats as of right now is a tragedy. Because Douglas Lima is the total package. He is a very well-rounded fighter. He will knock you the fuck out. He will leg kick you until you feel it in your bones for a month, and his grappling is more than decent. He can get you on the ground, man. He is very, very accomplished. He is a very good, well-rounded, and he's not a boring fighter. Unfortunately, Douglas's Achilles heel is that he has not had the most exciting opponents. He himself is a very exciting fighter, but it's all about your dance partner too. And if you have somebody that makes you look bad because they don't want to engage, well, it's not going to make for the most exciting fight. Not everybody wants to engage Douglas because they know how dangerous he is.
Yeah.
So Douglas Lima is next up on my list.
That's a good pick. I would love to see, I know like it kind of spread all over the social media where somebody put up like a Bellator versus UFC thing. And
he'd kill.
His name was
killed in that division.
All the champions versus Bellator champs versus UFC champs. And
he'd destroy. Who you got next?
I'm going to go a little bit old school.
Okay.
I think, again, I think in like the fans' eyes. So I guess when I'm looking for here, when I pick these people, like this guy's in the Hall of Fame, but like I don't think he's appreciated in terms of fandom.
Okay,
he's not appreciated, in that aspect. And I think Matt Serra.
Good pick
because he beat GSP, and when I mean shock the world, when he fucking beat him.
Oh yeah,
it was like
it was the upset at the time.
Holy shit! I mean, and it's a shame that they were still on the rise back then, and it wasn't like can you imagine a fucking sold out MSG, and the same thing happened? Like it would be fucking nuts. It would be absolutely nuts. I think Matt Serra doesn't quite get the adulation from the fans. I think that he deserves. I mean, again, I know he's in the Hall of Fame, and somebody might say, "Well, yeah, he's getting those accolades," but I think in terms of fandom, nobody really talks about him anymore. I think it's a shame.
I think that's a very solid pick. I didn't even think about that. That's a very, very good pick on your behalf. Now, my next one, I'm going even more old school because this was a guy who was, in my opinion, one of those guys who was just the king of Pancrase. Absolute awesome guy. He definitely had some good wins in MMA, but I mean, his presence was definitely more felt in Pancrase than anything. And I'm talking about motherfucking Guy Mezger.
Oh, yeah.
Guy Mezger was a legitimate badass. He was a guy that was all about, I mean, you want to talk about a badass. His full contact karate record is 42-1 with 40 wins by knockout. I mean, you got his MMA record was 30-14. His kickboxing record was 22-3. I mean, this guy, and I've had the opportunity to work with Guy many times. He's a Texan. He's a Texan as well. So I've had an opportunity to work with him several times. And I believe, is he in the Hall of Fame? I'm not.
I believe Guy Metzger.
I believe he is. I believe he is. Because I remember at the beginning, and not only that, Guy Metzger was also the president of HDNet Fights when it first started. When HDNet Fights got launched by Mark Cuban, he was actually the president on that. And he also was a commentator for the World Series of the World Combat League for Chuck Norris. He's kind of done anything, and he's a former UFC tournament winner. He has a win over Tito Ortiz. He has a win over Tito Ortiz in his prime. Not too many people back in 1997 could actually say that they had a win over Tito Ortiz around that time. That's when Tito was on the train of just on a locomotive of destruction. But yeah, he won the UFC 13 lightweight tournament. So I think right there's a guy who the true MMA fans will remember, but he never got the opportunity to really go in the upper echelon because the upper echelon really didn't exist in the UFC at that time. The UFC was only a couple of years old at that time by the time that he won that tournament. But that's another guy who is just an encyclopedia of martial arts knowledge. And I love to anytime I get a chance to show my patronage to Guy Metzger, I do it. Total martial arts badass.
I just look. I don't see him. I don't think he is in the Hall of Fame.
All right, maybe he's not. Well, which is a shame because he should be.
Yeah, I agree.
With his contributions to martial arts overall, he should be. All right, who you got?
All right, so this is.
All right, where are we at? Are we at 5 now?
Either 4. Are we at 4 or 5?
Let's see. You had 1, then I had Cole Conrad, then you. I think we're at 5.
Okay.
All right, so you got number 6.
Let's do. Well, I mean, this is my 4th one. This is your 4th one.
Is it?
Yeah. Because I've had 3 picks, you've had 3 picks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I said.
Okay. I won't argue. Go. What you got?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be honest with you. I like I said, this was fucking tough because, like, my problem with picking some of these people is I'm trying to pick people like I'm trying to keep a criteria with like I said, the whole fandom thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is fucking tough because there's so many fucking people that I think should have been like way more recognized than they are. Fuck man.
I don't know. Fuck man. Is he a good fighter?
He's not bad.
I know that he was popular in prison. Fuck man. I know that he was popular in prison in the general population. Come on now, you're killing me, man. Come on.
I'll be honest. I'm gonna go with Demetrius Johnson. Yeah, I mean,
but he's not. I don't think he's underrated because he's been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to underrate someone when they've been given incredible opportunities on all levels. Thing about it is, he's not overrated. He's not overrated. That's for damn sure. I don't think he's underrated. I think he's underappreciated. I don't think he's underrated. He's just a boring fighter, unfortunately.
Demetrius Johnson is an interesting case, right? Because in terms of like pure talent and pure skill.
Well, because I don't think he's underrated because he's been multiple champions on multiple places. So that's why underrated is kind of hard to do because he's been to the top of the show. He just hasn't been as recognized for it as he should have.
Well, here's what I'll say, Sheena, is with him. That whole thing of they never advertised him, I don't think that's entirely their fault. Here's the proof in the pudding, and one championship figured this out, is he's not very marketable.
He's not. He really isn't.
I'm sorry. He has the personality of a bucket of rocks.
Yep. I'd rather watch paint dry than watch him talk.
I don't mean to say like he's not. It's not like he's not intelligent or anything. He's super intelligent.
No,
but like,
he doesn't know how to play the advertising game. He doesn't know how to market himself. He just doesn't.
One championship figured that out, because I think maybe they thought, oh man, if we bring this guy over, he's going to make us fucking money. But like, look, he's not even. I don't even think he's barely headlining over there.
No, not.
He should be.
It should be.
Like, if you just went off of straight skill, he should be one of the top people, but he's not, because he's not marketable.
All right, get to your pick then.
Sorry. I think my one pick. Yeah, he is boring. Yeah, he's very boring. It's just I'm doing a lot of I'm hesitating, Jeff. I'm gonna say Mark the Hammer Coleman. I'm gonna go old school.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? But wasn't Mark a heavyweight champion?
He was. Like I said, this is why it's tough.
But didn't he come late to the game? But didn't he come kind of late to the game in the UFC when it first started?
I think in terms of like underappreciated, I guess in terms of like fandom wise.
Okay.
That's where I'm kind of coming from.
Okay.
I think Mark the Hammer Coleman, I think like in terms of like fandom, I think he's one of these guys, one of these, he was kind of a name back then and then just kind of got lost in the annals of time. And I don't know. Man.
Annals, not anals.
And well,
it's annals of time, not anals.
It depends who you're asking.
What? I can't argue that with you, unfortunately. Can't argue that with you. That's for damn sure. No, I guess that's fair enough. If you want to add him to the list, that's fine. My next pick is John Fitch. I think John Fitch is actually a huge one, because there were a couple things that, in my opinion, there were a couple of things that kind of prevented him from becoming just a huge fucking superstar. Number one, the fans really weren't kind of into, I guess you could say, his heavy wrestling style at the time. And unfortunately, I think the biggest thing, if you're going to go ahead and you're going to talk about John Fitch, is that he was unlucky enough to be in that division when GSP was owning the shit. GSP was absolutely in his top prime, and he was a tough one to eclipse. I mean, and unfortunately, he had some wins, he had some good wins, but he never got the opportunity to get that second chance at GSP, unfortunately. And I think that if circumstances had been a little bit different, I think John Fitch could have definitely been a superstar. He had such incredible potential. His wrestling skills were just unbelievable, but like I said, not everybody was into it at that point, because, here comes GSP with just this incredible skill set over round. And when you catch a fighter at his absolute prime, especially someone as marketable as GSP, because he had genetics on his side.
Yeah.
John Fitch, unfortunately, it was too much of a mountain for him to climb at the time. So I think that John Fitch should definitely be added to the list.
That's a good pick.
I think so.
John Fitch was always one of those guys, just, I don't know, like, you just always knew, no matter who the fuck his opponent was, it was going to be a solid fucking fight.
Hell yeah. When I saw John Fitch on the card, didn't matter who he was with. He's going to attempt to make it interesting.
Yeah.
And you're going to see good wrestling if that's your thing, but not everybody was into heavy wrestling.
Right.
Why do you think Cole Conrad washed out the way that he did eventually? Right. Because he was nothing but wrestling.
I'm actually going to do, I guess my final pick here, I'm going to round it out with the very first welterweight UFC champion, Mr. Pat Miletich. I don't think that he gets the due respect that he deserves. I mean, like, to take a wrestling terminology, the boys in the back respect him. all the boys respect him, but
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
in terms of I think overall fandom and even like UFC, because I know him and Dana had this. They haven't been on terms in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what the fuck happened, but I remember like they're on bad fucking terms. But I mean, the first ever UFC welterweight champion,
Mm-hmm.
and most people couldn't tell you who it was.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? That's so sad because his contribution was so incredible. I mean, obviously, more people know him for his commentary contributions now. But I mean, seriously, man, he was a pioneer.
Absolutely, it was.
He was a big time pioneer.
Absolutely, he was. I'm just reading some stuff on him now. He's which I didn't know that he was 17-1. Even back in '98, he was 17-1 coming into the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
Did that fucking tournament. He won the lightweight tournament, UFC 16, and then obviously went on to win the welterweight championship. But I think Pat Miletich, if I probably had I guess it's kind of perfect that he's my last pick because he'd probably be my top pick for most underappreciated.
I think that's a solid pick. That's a very solid pick. All right. My last pick is going to be Rafael Assunção.
Assunção, yeah. Okay.
I know the Assunção brothers very, very well. And Rafael has had very, very notable wins. I mean, you're looking at Marlon Moraes, Caraway, Sterling, Dillashaw. I mean, the guy has beaten big names, but unfortunately, they were never really able to give him a real good push. And I was very fortunate to have known Rafael. I announced him a couple of times outside of the country, and he is a great overall guy. And the Assunção brothers, a very, very good fighting team. They kind of remind me of the Lima brothers, but I think Rafael was another one who was really underappreciated that just had natural, unbelievable fighting talent. It's just unfortunately, he never got the push, and Bellator will never become the sensation that the UFC is. So unfortunately, anybody who decides to stand and be the focal point of Bellator will kind of get left behind a little bit, unfortunately, because they're not part of the superior and more well-known brand. So that's awesome. That the way that the fight fans look at it, it's fucking badass if you're a Bellator world champion. But in the end, the way they look at it doesn't mean shit until you've held gold in the UFC. And that's kind of the way that some people, even though that I think that there are superior fighters in Bellator, it's just Bellator is not going to get behind it with the advertising muscle that the UFC does.
Like our boy Ryan Bader getting.
Yep. He was a dual champion. I mean, not anymore, but he was a dual champion, and not too many people knew that. Not too many people knew that he was a dual champion. But I think Rafael Assunção is a solid add to the list.
Well, shit, they had 3 dual champions, right? Didn't we talk about they had 3?
Pitbull.
Pitbull is featherweight and lightweight.
Yep.
And what wasn't
Ryan Bader, of course.
Yeah, it was light heavyweight and heavyweight.
And was it that Hawaiian chick? The Hawaiian chick.
Somebody was welterweight and middleweight.
Really?
Yeah. Fuck. The guy that came over from oh my god, I'm gonna hate myself.
Come from where?
He came from UFC and he was like still big, and he came over and fucking has been like wrecking house over in Bellator. Jesus Christ! Somebody help me.
I can't help you unless you help yourself.
We will be here all night then.
Yeah, I know that. It'll come to you at one point, but yeah, right. Sheena, I definitely agree with you. I know that you said this a little while back, but Tony Lopez was always underrated too. I agree.
Tony Lopez is the fucking man.
Tony's another guy who, in fact, he was actually even kind of talking retirement because of what's been happening with COVID. And I told him, I said, don't you dare retire because of the pandemic shit. I said, retire because this is the way it is in your life. You're at peace with stepping away and all that good stuff. But don't retire because of your lack of fights from the fucking pandemic. I said, don't you dare do that. Don't let the pandemic get the best of you. No fucking way. Retire when you want to. Retire when you know that it's right for you, your family, your friends, and all the ducks are in a row for you to step away from the cage and start the next chapter in your life. No problem there. But don't fucking let the pandemic claim your career, your fighting career. Fuck that. Fuck that, man. That's the worst. That's the worst way to friggin' retire. Let the pandemic do it, especially if you don't even fucking catch the virus. If you don't even fucking catch the virus, then don't even fucking even think about it. Just wait the time out, man. Like all of us. We're waiting the time out to where we can get back to work on a regular basis and the world can continue to spin. Keep going, Tony. Come on, you gave us my favorite fight. Still my favorite fight. My favorite fight of bare knuckle. In fact, I was talking to, Josh, I was talking to Joey the other day, and I told him, I said, I know you're such a huge pro wrestling fan. And I said, we still have to get you on Loudmouth Fisticuffs and, talk pro wrestling.
Yeah.
Talk pro wrestling. So I was talking to him and I said, the impact, I said, to me, if I were to go ahead and put a wrestling match on the impact that I think that your fight had, your first fight with BKFC, and how impactful it was, I said, dude, the impact reminds me of Taker and Mankind Hell in a Cell. Two guys that are just giving us everything in their body.
That's an interesting comparison.
It's because you got to look at it. Look at what more could they have given us when it comes to a war? When it comes to
it was a car wreck.
When it comes to a war of attrition between two big punchers, and neither one of them is going to kiss canvas, what more can they fucking give us? They can't. They can't. They gave us everything in their body, and both of them were very bloodied and very battered afterwards. Yeah. But neither one of them refused to go down. I mean, seriously, it's like the end of fucking Rocky. What's keeping the end of Rocky 2? But now it is Creed coming back. Creed with a left hand. What's keeping these two guys up? Just seriously, man. They absolutely had at it, and that's why it's still my favorite fight. Everybody says, well, what about Knight and Lobov? I'm like, I said, that's not even my second fight. That's not even my second favorite fight. That maybe ties for second, but it's really more of a third. No, I think Faria and Peralta is my second favorite fight. That's my second favorite fight. Yes, Sheena, it is discouraging. Especially, yes, discouraging is one thing, but it shouldn't discourage you to stop doing what it is that you love to do. I mean, these are extenuating circumstances. This is true, but it shouldn't stop you. It shouldn't stop you doing all you do. Just wait your time out. It's the best thing to do. People are so fucking impatient these days because they don't know what to fucking do and they don't know what's going to happen. And you're absolutely right. Sheena, you're preaching to the choir. My income source has been decimated. I don't even want to tell you how much money I've lost out on between March and now. It's depressing. It's beyond depressing. I should be debt-free, actually. I was actually planning to be debt-free on the schedule that I had. And that is not happening. So I know that. I know exactly what that feels like. But I can't quit now. I have to move forward. I have to find a way to survive it, and then at least I can say I survived it. The pandemic did not take my passion, and it shouldn't take fucking his. No fucking way. My passion will see through the pandemic. It'll see all the way fucking through it.
Hopefully we're on the uptick.
I think we are. I really do. I think that we're getting it. We're not getting it as quickly as some other countries have. Some other countries have actually implemented better procedures, and they're doing a shit ton better than us. But we're starting to get it. Yeah. And I think that as long as we continue that mindset, we'll be okay. and we'll be able to get through this and see this all the way to a vaccine. I really do. But like I said, guys, just hang tight. I know that it sucks, and I know that it's now upcoming 6 months, 6 fucking months that our lives have been completely and totally turned upside down, and that's a long fucking time when it's usually never happened like this for most people before. So I get it, and then we're going to be approaching 7, then 8, then 9, then 10. It sucks, but we will get there. I know Tony is no spring chicken, and I know that. And I get that. But at the same point, man, he's not on borrowed time yet, Howie. Not yet. I mean, I understand your point on that, but he's not on borrowed time. Not yet, he's not. Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right about that. Boy, are you right about that, sister. Couldn't be more right about that. That this is the time of year where our country gets ugly.
I really think all of this is, you want to talk about the perfect storm, man, with the COVID and with these the shootings that's happened, and
have that happen around election time.
You're like, you want to talk about the cup has runneth over, for the country. I mean,
it has done a hell of a lot more than runneth over, man. They are investing in another cup,
something like that. Yeah,
they are investing in a Whataburger cup this time, but you don't know what Whataburger is.
We got Whataburgers out here.
You do?
But yes, sir.
I did not know that Whataburger was a franchise that reached out to the East Coast.
I don't think that it's probably not the same people, but like, we have Whataburgers out here. We sure do.
Interesting. Yep. But you have White Castles out there, right?
There's one up in the closest one. Hold on. There isn't one in Virginia. There's one up in
Why do they decide to be so geographical? Why do they prefer geographical isolation for that franchise? It's amazing. The only place that I can get fucking White Castle is up in Dallas, and that's 4 hours. That's a 4-hour drive for me.
Fuck, I think there's I think there's one or two in like Jersey or something like. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
that needs to be franchised a hell of a lot more, because there is nothing more delicious than those amazing little sliders with the greatest toasted onions in the history of mini hamburgers. And I have no idea why. I mean, there's a reason why there is a movie so appropriately named Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. There's a very good reason, because it's fucking amazing. There's a reason that certain burger chains are mentioned in very famous movies. There's a reason why in The Big Lebowski, why In-N-Out Burger was mentioned, because In-N-Out Burger fucking rocks.
Let me tell you something. We when I went to I don't know, we went to Phoenix, and one of the first things I was like, hey, do you guys have a fucking In-N-Out Burger out here? Because they're not on the East Coast. In-N-Out Burgers.
Yes, they are.
Where?
Oh, East Coast. No, West Coast. Yeah, they're more West Coast. Well, now they're in They're in Texas now. They're in Texas now. Okay. But they're not as good. The quality difference between West Coast In-N-Out and this In-N-Out is like night and day.
Different, yeah. Well, we were there, and I'm like, hey, do you guys have an In-N-Out? Yeah. We're going. I don't give a fuck what else we do. I want to hit up an In-N-Out. All I've heard about is from I remember Big Lebowski, and then like In-N-Out. And you know what? I tried it. It was I won't say it was the best like drive-through cheeseburger I've ever had, but it was damn fucking good.
No, it's respectable, man. It's respectable. But when you get those little fucking sliders from the beautiful White Castle.
You know, I've never had I've had like the frozen White Castle. I've never had
you can't compare. You can't compare the difference, because they toast the buns. The meat is obviously fresh instead of frozen, so huge difference there. The toasted onions that they slather upon those, which is weird, because there are very few other fast food hamburger places that do the onions like they do on White Castle. Very, 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 very different. As far as that, Whataburger, of course, is the dominant Texas brand. It's kind of sloppy, and it's definitely more burger for your money. That's for fucking sure. I mean, that's obviously the go-to burger here. In-N-Out is starting to franchises are popping up more and more all over Texas every day. So we're starting to see more and more of those. But White Castle, unfortunately, the reason why Dallas has a White Castle is because it's on the border. It's on the border of Oklahoma. So it's further up north. So you'll see more. Yes, it is, Sheena, isn't it? Isn't White Castle just fucking amazing? There's a reason there's also a very good reason why a stoner movie decided to depict White Castle. Because when you are munching like crazy, yeah, it does. I mean, what? Oh no, nothing wreaks more havoc on your digestive system than fucking Taco Bell. Taco Bell guarantees green apple splatters. Guarantees green apple splatters.
Green apple splatters?
Yes. Green apple splatters. Let me tell you something. You are decorating the porcelain when you go to Taco Bell.
I've never had green apple splatters, Jeff.
I have. I'm going to tell you something. You have those freaking tacos loaded with extra avocado and such. And oh my God, your digestive system was not meant to handle fast food Mexican food.
Usually at Taco Bell, I stick with like if I go, maybe like the quesadilla, or I don't really fuck with all the weird different tacos and burritos and shit.
I like a really hot Doritos Locos taco.
It's okay. Yeah.
But you got to get them really fucking hot because those suck when they're cold. Like certain things just suck. When it comes to tacos, I know this is really fucking weird. But when you grow up in South Texas and you're a massive stoner, a massive fucking stoner, and you have limited funds, there are certain places where you go when you're, out on the road aimlessly looking for something to eat because you're munching like a motherfucker and you only have so much money in your pocket. But you go after those fucking tacos at Jack in the Box. Now, I know that they're brass tacks tacos. They're not. No. Oh, dude. It's strange because you wouldn't think that Jack in the Box tacos would fucking rock, but they do. They're so and they're so simple. They're so incredibly simple, and now they actually have they have a little box that sells like mini tacos, and they're tiny little tacos like in one box, and I think there's like 15 of them, like in one little box, and they're just tiny little. The tacos, they're almost small enough. They look like refrigerator magnets. Like you may have gone somewhere and bought a refrigerator magnet from a fast food place. That's how small they are. They look just like that. They're so fucking cool. But that was my taco place growing up when you had limited funds. Jack in the Box tacos, deceptively simple. In fact, you could actually eat the taco through the paper and not even know the difference. Yeah. It's weird.
Do you remember when Taco Bell had like the fucking
I like Del Taco too, Sheena. Yeah. Del Taco is great. It's a great spot out west. Del Taco is a great place to go when you're drunk.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. I visited many a Del Taco while drunk on Patron. What were you saying?
When Taco Bell used to have like you could get fucking tacos for like 79 cents, burritos and shit.
Oh yeah.
You could
during the days of the Chihuahua, yo quiero Taco Bell.
Yeah. You could fucking load up for like $5.
Oh, absolutely. And if you're a poor family, Jesus Christ, you can eat like a king. You can eat like a king. You'll be hogging up the bathroom and possibly calling into work the next day, but you'll get fed. You have a Del Taco down the street, Howie? Oh yeah, that's right, Howie. You're on the West Coast, right? You're up Washington. Are you Washington way or New York way?
No, he's in Washington.
He's in Washington way. Yeah, he's up Washington way. Yeah. I like Del Taco. I like Del Taco. Always those little simple places where you could always get like a little simple fix, whether you were drunk, whether you were stoned, whether you were coming home from the club and you had to eat something because, you had to get something in your stomach because you probably didn't eat before you started drinking. And there's nothing worse than a hard drunk on an empty stomach. Oh, God.
Bad.
That's bad. That's bad, man. I'm going to tell you something, man, because then when you're throwing up, you're not throwing up much food. You're heaving and it hurts. And it hurts bad. Oh, yeah. So, no, you always make sure that you get something because if you're going to puke later on, at least you got some food to puke up and it'll be a little bit easier on your trachea and on your stomach.
I agree. It's rough.
It is. Rough. It is. It's so funny as you get older, especially when you drink more and everything like that. Every time I have a drink now, I have a glass of water or a bottle of water to follow it. It's almost like I have to have the water now to chase it so that way that I don't have a fucking hangover. Because the more water you drink, the less likely you are to have a hangover.
Yeah. The less dehydrated you'll feel too.
Yeah. That's it. Well, I mean, that's all that a hangover is. It's just extreme dehydration. That's all it is. So yeah. So I
do the same thing. If I drink a beer, I drink a glass of water.
Damn straight. You got to have the water chaser. So that way, if you lose control of what you're drinking, at least the water will prevent you from feeling like you got pile drived on a bed of nails the next day. Because that's how you feel after that shit. Yeah, smart. I know it is, Howie. You got to look at, as you get older, you actually looking at drinking as kind of like, you have a plan. You have like a battle plan going into it if you know you're going to get drunk.
Or thoughtful.
You're more experienced now. So therefore, you're a little bit more aware of your biology on what happens as such, with the whole drunk process and the hangover process. You've been through it enough times and you know how to circumvent any irritation.
Do you know what too, Jeff? I've noticed, and especially with drinking the water, I don't drink a whole lot, but when I do,
What's up, Brian? What's up, Mr. Red Rims? How you doing, brother?
What up? Back in my roaring 20s. Back then, I would drink to get fucked up.
At that age, you're supposed to. That's what that's the goal.
Whereas now, like I said, I drink a beer, I drink water. I just want a little buzz. I just want to feel, have a good little feeling going on. And that's, I'm not looking, I don't want to.
It depends on the people I'm with. I'm going to be honest with you. Depends on the people that I'm with. If I'm really having a good time and such, and drunk is just the order of the night, then that's fine. But I'm not going to give in to over drinking. And the thing about it is, I travel the world. I'm around different kinds of drinkers so much. And the ones that I can't stand are the ones that try to show off. The ones that drink and they pound it fast. Like like it's a competition, like they're at a fucking beer pong contest or some shit like that. Like they have to pound shot after shot after shot. I'm like, dude, you are going to get winded and you're going to get winded fast. Mm-hmm. Howie, you know for a fact that I can hold. Sheena knows that I can hold my liquor. Howie knows that I can hold my liquor. I have held my liquor with the best of them at bare knuckle. I'm going to tell you something. Making my fight announcement tomorrow. Good stuff, Brian. I told you we'd get you back in the squared circle. I knew that would happen.
Yo, are you fighting? Wait, like a last minute fight, or are you fighting? Or you probably can't say nothing.
He said he's making his announcement tomorrow, so I figured tomorrow would be the opportune moment to ask him that question or find out. No, you hold on till tomorrow, Brian. I'm glad to see you're making that statement. Yes, because I know that you have been foaming at the mouth. Yeah, text. I know you've been foaming at the mouth for an opportunity to get back into the squared circle. If I drink a lot. There's no in between. Yes, that may be you, Sheena, but no, I can socially drink. I can limit myself, and then there are certain times where the company is just so badass that it just keeps going. For me, it's situational. My drinking is situational. It really has to depend. I'm not going always out to get piss ass fucking drunk. It's more situational than anything.
Probably the last time I was like, I don't know, I got kind of fucked up in Cancun.
Oh, did you? I drank a lot in Cancun, but I was fine. I was fine.
First night there, we were at the steakhouse place where they were cutting all the fucking meats and shit. You know what I mean?
Were you with us at the Hard Rock when we were having all those sweet drinks? No, you weren't. Sheena, I'd like to say that they were good, but it was just a lot of overpriced sugar water. It really was. It was one of those places that, everyone will know tomorrow. Thank you very much. Continue, Josh, when you were talking about your hard drunk in Cancun.
I mean, I wasn't like super fucked up. But probably the last time I was fucked up was that night because that was a long fucking day. Because that was the day, we came in, and it was even longer for me because I had to drive. We caught the plane in Philly, and Sheena was there. That's where the first time I met Sheena was at that airport. Was at the Philly airport. She was. A lot of people were, for whatever reason, were like,
well, they were redirected there so that they could get down to Cancun.
Like 8 of us, I don't know, like.
Oh, Rumble did pay the tab. You're right on that, Sheena. I forgot. No, Rumble did and David did. David also paid for part of the tab on that as well. David paid for the tab on that.
That's cool.
I remember that direction. Now, the drunkest I've ever been, that I remember, a recent memory. You'd think that Russia. When I go to Russia a lot, that I was crazy drunk. Actually, drunkest I've ever been has definitely been in Korea. Definitely, because Korea is definitely a drinking culture, a big time drinking culture, especially when you go to the foreigner hotbeds, to where you have all the foreigners that kind of congregate. Because there are certain areas in Seoul where a lot of foreigners congregate together. There's a place called Itaewon. That's in Seoul, and that's where all the foreigners gather. And I remember the last time I was there, it was in December. I was with my brother. I got to take my brother on this trip and such, and he was already piss fucking drunk. And we were just sitting in the middle of Itaewon, and I tell you, man, there were so many Europeans. There were Europeans, there were Africans, there were Arabs, there were Muslims. It was just, I mean, the Muslims weren't doing so much drinking, of course, but there was just a melting pot of amazing culture. And this Belgian and this Italian, we start talking to them. Of course, we're drunk as shit. And they're saying, do you want to go to want to go check out this cool theme bar? And we're like, fuck yeah. Because when you're drunk, you don't really pay attention to strangers that much. In fact, you're just looking for a good time. So they ended up taking us to a place called the 8-Bit Bar, which was actually one of the most delightful surprises that I've ever been to in my entire life when it comes to a bar. And it was a completely video game themed bar. It was like walking into the inside of a Super Nintendo. And I'm a gamer myself, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this doesn't look like it should be in but everybody was drinking, and everybody, and I swear to God, I mean, there was every walk of life getting along in the bar. Every walk of life. And boy, was I hitting on the bartender hard. It's not that often that you come across a very Amazonian 6-foot tall Korean woman that speaks perfect English on top of that. 6 foot fucking tall. Oh my good Lord. I did everything. And she said everybody hits on me all the time. I'm like, well, I can understand that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do it less. But I'm going to do it less, but I'll be respectful, but I'm not saying that I'm not going to. Less is more. Less is more. Less is more. I said I'm going to do that, but I'm going to. Robot restaurant. Oh yeah, I've been there too. In Tokyo. Yeah, I've been there too, Sheena. That's a cool place. That's a cool place. Josh, if you got anywhere that you got to put on your bucket list when it comes to traveling, oh dude. Tokyo is it's one of those once in a lifetime places. They're just the nightlife in Tokyo is unlike any other in the world. There's nowhere else in the world that I could even compare to nightlife in Tokyo. And the coolest thing about it is that people are so nice. Strangers are so nice to you. People pick up drink tabs like they're supposed to. Like it's almost like it's a prerequisite for them to pick up drink tabs. They take you to all these cool spots. They take you to Japanese culture spots that you're not necessarily supposed to understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But you enjoy it nonetheless because they went out of their way to take you to a nightlife spot that you may not get as much, but you see how much fucking fun they're having, what they're doing, that it infects you. And it comes on over to you. And you end up having an experience that you never, ever would have expected. No fucking way. So Tokyo is definitely a place where you will make lifetime friends and lifelong memories. Absolutely go to Tokyo. Definitely worth the money. Worth the money. Expensive, yes. Expensive, yes. But you can survive in Tokyo on a budget. You absolutely can.
With that being said, you know we have.
I know you've been waiting. You've been waiting.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Tom and Jeff. When's he going to shut up? When is Jeff going to shut up? You know what? I'm going to tell you. But before you go into that,
I have
before,
very good.
You have. But this is what we do. This is what we do. We go all over the fucking place. I am very disappointed in a certain individual not messaging in and stirring the pot like he certainly likes to. Yes.
That's right.
I am really wondering why why Mr. Graybush didn't decide to go ahead and message in and try to light a fire under my ass. Yeah, why is that, Scott? Where were you this week? People were clamoring for entertainment, and nobody entertains like we do when it comes to our rib game. You're right, Sheena. Off-beaten path places in Tokyo are inexpensive. You're absolutely right. As you would think, as most places in Asia. Most places in Asia, the offbeat places are affordable, are affordable, and you're absolutely right about that. But I'm disappointed in you, old man. Look, I understand you probably had to go to bed early. You probably said to myself, I've had 2 insurers today, and I didn't plan on having the second one, so it's about 7:30 at night, so I think I'm going to call it a night. I think I'm going to go in bed and watch a Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
I mean, ain't nothing wrong with Law and Order. All right.
There is when he watches it.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. Because it's like spousal murder porn. He loves that shit.
I just watched that South Park episode.
The informative murder porn. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. When they put the parental blocker on it. When they put the parental blocker on it for them. Oh my God, that was so funny.
When they tried to go to the cable company and try to get it off.
Oh no. Point down here. Oh. Yeah. Remember they had the windows, the tip windows. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah.
You'll just have to switch cable providers. Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. You can't. We're the only one here. Oh. There was a funny episode on South Park where do you remember the Margaritaville episode? With the margarita machine and the economy was collapsing, and Randy said that he was like the savior to help the economy, and then Kyle gets a no limit credit card and bails everybody out. And while that Stan's trying to return a Margaritaville machine, and he goes to this one place, he's like, I want to go ahead and return this. And this guy, the guy who owns the place, is always using this Carmex, and he's like, oh yeah, no. Oh my God! I swear, they've been around since 1997. They're celebrating their 23rd year this year, and they still have it. Dude, they still have a direct path to my fucking funny bone. Yeah. They still know exactly where your funny bone is. And you got to appreciate because they were pissing people off then, and they continue to piss people off now. They don't give a fuck about it. In fact, I am very interested, Josh, to see, oh my God, all the ammunition that they are going to have when the next season comes out with all the pandemic shit. Oh my good Lord. It's going to be open fucking season.
Yeah.
Oh my God. The unlimited ammunition that they have been given from all the shit that's been happening during the pandemic. Please. Yeah. They're going to exploit that like nobody's fucking business. I have a feeling it might be one of the best seasons ever in the modern. I do. Now you can take us on the outro, Mr. Joshua.
Guys, it's midnight here on the East Coast, and I'm exhausted. But we appreciate you for sticking around.
He almost didn't come in. He was bitching a little bit. 15 minutes prior, he sends me a message saying, oh, I'm so tired. Can we do this maybe tomorrow, the next day? I am off my ass and everything. And then I told him, our fans, our listeners, no way. You need to get your ass up. You need to tough it out. You'll have plenty of time to sleep when you're dead. we have got to turn out episode number motherfucking 26, and that's what we did.
100%. He gave me a swift kick in the ass.
And you needed it. You needed it.
I did. And we appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, all that stuff. And that's Mr. Live Worldwide, Jeff Houston. I'm Joshua Furs. You just listened to Loudmouth Fisticuffs. And
when you're good, you're good.